right? And so the next thing I'm going to do is basically just throw right on here as though this was the wheel head. So same thing, throw it down, karate chop the outsides to get it nice and stuck on. And then I'm not really going to go into depth in terms of the centering process because you guys are kind of all getting the hang of centering now. And we'll keep working on that. Like I said, that's the hardest part. I'm going to center my piece. If I feel my bat starting to slide around, I can kind of just change my centering approach and like push it down really hard with my first couple pushes. And so now I've got a centered piece on the wheel, and obviously I wedged this up pretty well. And it looks just like the centered chunk of clay that you would start making a bowl or a cup with. But instead of making my well like I would usually do, I'm going to kind of widen this bad boy out. So I'm using the side of my hand just like I did when I stuck the clay to the wheel head to stick my bat on. Try to prevent yourself from getting like this mushroomy shape by kind of doing a compression thing. So I'm going to do one pull widening my piece and one push evening out that edge. And I'm going to alternate. So again, one pull widening the piece and one push evening out that edge to prevent myself from getting that mushroom. One pull widening, one push evening out the edge. And you can see I'm just kind of making like a pretty centered little frisbee.
Are you guys noticing how her hands are always touching each other here? Her elbows are anchored.
My elbows are anchored. I'm again, just like when I was sticking the bat to the wheel head, I'm trying to keep this pretty flat. Another thing you can do if using the side of your hand feels uncomfortable or like not really intuitive is you can use a sponge. It's like a wide fingertip that's kind of self-lubricating. I like using the sponge for all kinds of stuff. I'm basically just creating my plate shape. And I'm going to try to keep it a little bit thicker on the outside than on the inside. And I'll show you I can actually kind of exaggerate that by pushing and compressing a little bit. So now you can kind of see that I've got this sort of donut or like tire on the outside. And I'm just going to check the bottom the same way that I do when I make a mug or a bowl. Make sure that this is like about 1/2 inch thick. A little bit thicker is fine because you're going to want to trim down your plate just like you trim down your bowl or your mugs or your pieces or whatever. So this is a good shape to start with. And I wanted to show you, like Patty was showing you before, you can use these ribs, which are all over there, to compress hand-built pieces and to compress on the wheel. So this is great if you notice that like your piece is much higher in the center or it's got like a lot of goobers stuck to it or whatever. You can just compress with the, this is called a rib. And it actually works kind of like a squeegee too, where it removes a little bit of your water from the clay. As it compresses it, it kind of pushes out that water like as if your clay was a sponge, and it makes your piece a little bit stronger. So now I've got like a nice, strong, pretty flat piece with these raised edges. And the next thing I'm going to do is lift those edges up and then throw them as though they were sort of the edges of a bowl. So that makes it really easy. I'm going to use my wooden tool. And I'm going to show you, so like if this is my plate, and this is like my wheel head, I'm just going to stick